lot.
There we go. Oh, excellent. Right, and we're live again. For the first time for a long, long time, we're going to go live in support of our Easter Beaster tournament this Sunday, our first face-to-face tournament of this year, being run for 14 players at Preston in Lancashire. For all you people who aren't in Preston in Lancashire that are watching this. Oh, I should have written this down before I started. But tonight, what we're going to do is Jan, who's below me in University Challenge style, and I better introduce Jonathan as well. John Faulkes, who's our guest panelist tonight to help us decipher people's army lists and maybe make some sense of the draw. But Jan, who's the TO for the tournament on Sunday, is going to do the draw live tonight. I'm going to write it down with my high-tech equipment here. Then once we've done that, we'll go through the army lists and just generally have a bit of a chat about them, what we think's going to happen, who we think's going to win, and yeah. Well, I think most people have seen this before.
Tom Robinson's going to win. Sorry, is that the? Can we cut the stream short to 1 minute 20 seconds?
Well, I did think about writing his name straight on the trophy that I've been painting up. But
you could just put Tom, Nick, and then cross one out, couldn't you?
You never know.
Put all three on each of them and just cross one out and see how we go.
I mean, he could get dragged off into the bushes at the venue by wild pigeons or something like that on Sunday. Anything can happen.
Attack.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want me to start the draw then?
That might be a good idea, yes. So,
right. I shall use the high-tech equipment of the box.
Pair number one.
Per number one.
Who's got the home tie? Who's got the home tie?
Right. We have. I don't know if you can see it. Where am I? Aethlin. Has come out against. Yeah, Alistair. So that's our first draw. Okay.
That should be an interesting game. I think they're both undead players.
Then we've got the Dazlam. So
fish people.
Yeah, fishy.
Oh dear. He's not going to like this one much. Nick Williams.
Nick with his how many scarecrows can I fit into my Night Stalkers?
So that's massive amount of Night Stalkers, scarecrows and stuff against ensnaring.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be a ball. That's going to be such a. There's going to be a clump in the middle with just doing nothing.
Yep. Then we've got Barry, our Baz joiner.
Hold on, Barry's playing goblins. What?
Yes.
This is new army for post-lockdown. Yeah.
It's
Barry's used them quite a lot, to be honest.
I've only ever seen him play.
Barry has drawn the Dan King. Sorry, Baz.
The Dan King. Oh.
The Dan King.
Dan, I've actually painted 3 regiments of infantry.
Okay. I have now got me.
Jan.
So me is the spur that ended up having to play because we've had somebody pinged. Is playing. Come on, come out. James Douglas.
Ooh, do I have James?
So that's going to be interesting. Basilians versus my Night Stalkers.
Oh, that's irritating. I've just shut James's down. Where's James?
Is it not Basileans?
Okay,
Oh,
how
don't go
I'm
there.
going to say it. Pedantic sob. Then we
Okay.
have Max Bennett.
Ah, good old Max.
Yep. And he has got Vic, otherwise known as Mike to anybody in the normal world. But after Swords of Summer, where I pulled out a name, it's like, who's Vic? Who's Vic? No, it's Mike. So, yep, Vic. And then we've got Andy L.
With his elves.
With his elves.
Please not be me.
No, it's not you. I think that one's going to be interesting. Tom
Robbo.
Yep, Tom Robbo.
With Northern Alliance. Ah, yes.
Northern Alliance.
Yeah.
Half elves versus elves.
And then we get Bob.
Bob.
And we only have one left.
Oh, dear.
That will be against John.
He's going to love that game.
Yeah, you've taken a nasty army at the minute.
Not.
Yeah. But I want to see those dwarfs run into that axe horde. Axe legion. That's just going to be hilarious.
So, shall we start the lineup? Do you want to pop the list?
Just bear with me 1 second.
That's fine. I'm behaving myself. I've not yet had very much of a drink because
I find my cursor.
Walking from work. And I apologise for the lighting in here and the rubbishness.
So, up first is Aethlin with his Empire of Dust 2, I think this is. But he's a Star Wars player, so perhaps he can't actually name anything without putting a number behind it. So we have a regiment of skeleton warriors.
I've got an objective and I want to hold it in my back line.
And as they come, Brew of Sharpness on a horde of revenants.
Ooh.
That's quite nasty. 2 regiments of mummies as they come, but with the casket of the damned, that increases the light leaf, isn't it?
Yeah.
Skeleton archers, a regiment of. Probably because
the casket of damned is that surge spell thing. You can surge it better. Yeah.
Right. Shows how much I know.
I was only going to flick through to find out what the hell that was.
All right. This is why we should have actual cow players on here to actually do this. No. Revenant cavalry.
Yeah.
As they come. 2 regiments of desert swarms. Quite nice chaff.
Revenant chariot.
A Revenant Chariot Regiment. I apologise because the word revenant and remnant I have a lot of problem with and getting crossed over. Enslaved Guardians, a horde of.
Yeah, good.
An Ammonite Pharaoh with Aura of Elite for mummies only.
That makes those mummies really, really nasty.
Yeah. A Cursed High Priest on an undead horse, just for that extra zipping about. A Cursed High Priest on his jack. A Revenant King on undead Great Flying Worm. Yeah. With the Blade of Slashing for those. Use up those 5 points that you can't get rid of anywhere else. And the Idol of Shobik, which is a horrible, horrible thing. Very hard to get rid of. Nasty. Right.
Interesting list there. He seems to the Empire of Dust tends to rely on its unique characters, and he's only got one of them, which is a brave move. Cursed High Priests are usually seen as being quite expensive for what they do, but I'm sure he knows what he's doing with those. The rest of it is very solid. What's really interesting here is that Revenant Horde, there's Brewer Sharpness on there.
I know.
25 attacks hitting on 3s. And
That's going to be mean.
And he's got quite a lot of surging to bounce him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's also got a lot of stuff to hold people up, so he can actually put that horde where it can do the most damage as well.
Yeah.
Right. So, Alistair, wet undead. So 3 hordes of zombies.
God.
just to clog everything up.
Just chaff us all along.
Yeah. 2 troops of wraiths.
Nice.
2 regiments of Soul Reaver infantry. Ooh.
Stop it! They're dead already.
2 troops of Revenant cavalry.
Yeah.
2 hordes of whites. So there's vampire on undead Pegasus with the staying stone. Another king on a great undead flying worm with the blade of slashing. So they can slash
that
at each
blinking
other.
blade of slashing, it's getting everywhere on the same thing.
And 3 necromancers, 1 to help with a bit of inspiring as the inspiring talisman, and the other 2 just as they are. So that's just to add a lot of surge there.
Yeah, that's a nice list.
Because the only other surge is the no, the
vampire.
King doesn't. Vampire, does he have surge now? No, it doesn't.
Oh no.
So it's just the necromancers for surging.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the wraiths and the whites are both pretty solid.
So what you've got there is you've got an Empire of Dust army that's got a lot of stuff in it with the desert swarms, the various regiments of skeletons and skeleton archers and that. So he's got quite a few drops, but Alistair's got the 3 hordes of zombies. So he's unit strength 27 with it 16 drops, whereas Aethlin is 26 with 15 drops. So they're fairly evenly matched for that. But Alistair's got I think he's got the edge on maneuverability with those raids and whites and the vampire on the flyer.
Yeah, he can choose his battles. It's going to be interesting to see how the Soul Reaver infantry cope with the mummies. That'll be key for this battle, I think. Is can the Soul Reavers punch through that mummy core?
Yeah.
I think head on probably not, but the thing is, as you said there, they've got plenty of flyers that can zip in from the sides. Although they're moving 7, they're still pretty nasty.
It's going to be a battle of angles, isn't it, with these guys?
I think this is going to be so interesting because it's people who have not been playing for 18 months in live play, getting back to seeing the angles and the and ranges and things instantly.
Aethlin has only been playing 3 or 4 months before we actually went into lockdown, so the poor soul. And he didn't do UB, so it's saying that though, neither did our Lister, so they're both in the same score on that.
Yeah,
that vote.
I'm going to give this one narrowly to Alistair because I think his army, the undead, is particularly with that Soul Reaver infantry and the 2 white and 2 wraiths. I think that's a really nice combination of stuff.
Much as I love Aethlin, I think I'm going to go with Alistair as well. I love Alistair as well, but poor old Aethlin. I'm feeling like I'm dissing him here, but I think this is going to be quite a matchup for him. I will be watching this one on the tables as much as I can.
It's going to be a good game.
Oh.
So that's I must admit with the maneuverability and the fact that it's got the 3 horde of zombie screens just to clog everything up and then just zip into the flanks. I think it's going to be an army to watch. It certainly will, and I think it's just going to outmatch Aethlin in this game. But then again, Aethlin could surprise us all.
Well, Aethlin's regularly surprised us. So
Yeah,
it's one of them. We'll see.
sometimes even during a game. Right, so on to the second matchup. So we have.
Yeah, the nasty Duran Lamb.
Oh, come on, Daz.
He can't even spell his name, but you know.
The criteria
on that one.
we set the bar really low.
The only pass mark was can you spell your name, and you got 75%, mate. Look. Right, okay. And I know for a fact he's watching because he sent me a picture of the Trollcast screen on his big telly at home. So
hold on, watching this in 42 inch.
Close enough in the comments.
Yeah,
Bless
close enough. Yeah, well done. Right, so we're leading with a horde of naiad ensnarers with the brew of strength, another horde with the hammer of measured force, Riverguard tree leapers, a troop of.
I've met them.
No, I haven't.
I don't think I've seen this.
4 lots of tidal swarms. Yeah, they're the frog people.
Oh, right, I have met them then. Yeah.
Is that frogs on frogs?
No, they're the dam busters, aren't they? The frogs on frogs.
Frogs on frogs.
Tidal swarm, 4 regiments of tidal swarm, just to ensnare, nimble, and scout, just to really piss people off. Water elementals, a horde of water elementals, a horde of naiad worm riders with the helm of confidence, so they can nip out there and run round at the periphery. 2 nookers, they're horrible things as well.
Yeah, taken. It's like taking Pathfinder and stuff on lists. You know, you stick in the boots, you stick the nookers on a list of these guys.
Yeah, coral giant, just for that. When you need a height 6 brutal crushing strength 3 ensnare with iron resolve and strider.
He only puts it in to use 200 points.
And then when you need one of them, might as well get 2 of them with the Kraken.
The Kraken as well, yeah. I mean, I know it's only defense 4, but he's got that regeneration 4 plus the wild charge. A Thull Aquamage, just to surge those water elementals about and inspire them. So he'll be stood behind that horde all the time. The Thull Mythicon, with his inspiring talisman and Bane chant, just to add that little bit of extra kick to the
Hector.
And Hector.
I hate Hector.
Hector. He turns up a lot, doesn't
he? I like Hector much.
I hate him so much.
I hate that list.
He's glorious.
It's just one of those lists that's going to keep you tied up in the middle of a battlefield no matter what.
Yeah.
And then we've got the other list that's going to keep you tied up in the middle of the battlefield.
Tie you up and do. Yeah.
So we have Nick's list, which is 2 regiments and 2 hordes of scarecrows. The horde with the crystal pendant of retribution, because you can.
It's fun to blow shit up. Give up.
Yeah. What you've got to remember is that you just walk away from the table as your opponent falls to bits, and you never look back at an explosion like that. Right, Reapers with the Dwarven Ale and the Scream Shard, so they're going to be headstrong.
That's a total mincing unit. That's going to just scare the shit out of people.
Well, it is, especially seeing as a lot of people just rely on pinging it a couple of times and getting it wavered to keep it out. That's been mitigated to some extent by the Dwarven Ale. Phantoms, flying troop of troopy things. Nimble, stealthy. Butchers, 2 hordes, one with a healing brew, because now they can waver. Give them a bit of a couple of wounds back in case they get stuck. And a brew of sharpness on another one that's nasty. Oh, hitting on 3s, crushing strength 2.
Yeah, that is nasty.
Yeah.
I could contemplate that myself, but yeah.
Mind Screech. 2 Mind Screech. Interesting choice. 2.
And I
Most
don't
people,
rate 2. Most people either go for 1 or 3.
yeah, but 2 anyway. And a plain out apparition, which seems to be the new thing for Night Stalker players to try out over the
Mind
last.
Fog.
Yeah, it's a good spell. It's a good spell, Mind Fog.
I don't mind Mind Fog, but I
because
quite
you
like
get
was it Icy Breath I've been using on mine?
Well, the
I've
Mind
not
Fog on
done this one, but yeah.
On the Night Stalkers is nice because they put a bit of damage on stuff and then ignore it and just keep making it take nerve tests, especially with the fact it's on the Mind Screeches as well. Portal of Despair, Dread, and
Void
Visions
Lurker,
of.
Oh, brew a taste on the Void Lurker because it needs to go faster.
Well, it does. So that's the Night Stalker equivalent of a dragon thing, isn't it? Except it's only defense 4, but it has regeneration. A stealthy dragon as well.
Stealthy dragon, yeah. And means
2 shades are horrible things.
Yeah.
Really, really upset your battle line with those. Flying behind, they don't need to attack, but they can. But they're just that dread. And a horror. I think the horror's in there for the yeah, I think the horror's in there to support the scarecrows, really. The aura vicious melee.
Got the aura on it, so it's going to
give them a Bane chant, and, you know.
What pieces when they blow up. That's infantry.
Just
the scarecrows.
Just the scarecrows.
Yeah. Oh no, Reapers are infantry as well, so you can put vicious on the Reapers. Oh, nasty. Right, well, what do we think of this one then? So it's the fish people versus the dream people.
It's the draw neither of them wanted.
It is the draw neither of them wanted, and it wasn't the draw that was purposely pulled out. It was literally, as you saw, from the box.
Yeah. Because Nick's armies plays a lot for stealthy across the board, and his Daz has got no shooting.
Yeah.
So that's. But both of them have got nice units for clogging up the center, which is great against Alpha Strike.
Daz has got a lot of regen, which is the other side of things. You know, he might get shot to pieces unless he's one-shotted off.
I mean, monsters wise as well. They've got the 2 Nookers that can go Mind Screech hunting. You've got
and they're fast. They're pretty.
You've got the Coral Giant, and I mean, Nick's got the Void Lurker. The Shades are probably going to be quite pivotal in this.
Yeah.
But then Ector could probably go around and sort them out, prevent them from getting too far in the back line. I don't know. It's very, very close. It's going to be an interesting game to watch, I'll tell you.
I think I'll be sending my minion that's doing all the admin to take photos of this one, because that's definitely going to be something I want to see.
I think Nick's going to have the edge on it just because of the movement he's got from the shades.
Well, unit strength and drops. Nick's got 25 units then, and 16 drops. Darren's got
23 and 16. So
they're on the same number of drops, not the same number of strength. It just depends what I pull out for the actual first game as the scenario.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
See, Nick's going to lose quite a lot of unit strength fairly rapidly if people get into those scarecrows and start munching through them. That's going to take quite a lot of unit strength very quickly.
It also depends on how Daz deploys things, because we all know Nick has been playing the game long enough to know how to out-deploy most people and tie them in knots.
Yeah, so, it's. I give it to Nick because the speed.
It is hard not to say Nick.
Yeah.
It is very hard not to say Nick.
Yeah.
And just because it's hard not to, I shall say Daz. Just so that he's got one.
Yeah.
I don't want him to feel picked on, because, you know, it's hard to face a list like that.
It is very. I mean, both of those lists.
It could be a draw. That could be a draw with that one, just because neither of them can kill each other.
It all depends how much regen actually comes off. Darren's very spawny with his dice recently. Whether he's still spawny at the weekend, we'll see.
The thing
he's also got -1 to hit for a lot of his things as well, so it's a problem.
I mean, for the grind game, horde for horde, the ensnarers are going to outgrind the scarecrows simply because of the brew of strength. The other one might suffer with the hammer of measured force, but with the regeneration and the ensnare, it makes the scarecrows hit on 6s. You know, and especially because Darren's very, very canny with using terrain with them guys. The number of games I've played against him where I've hit them with all sorts of stuff, I've caused dozens and dozens of wounds, and at the end of the game they're on 2 shagging wounds because they just regenerated everything. And I haven't one-shotted them. I mean, I've hit them in the flank with dwarf Brock riders and stuff like that coming off a hill, and they just sit there going, "Yeah, that was nice, wasn't it?"
Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro.
Yeah, let's just regenerate that.
One-shot them. If you can't one-shot Darren stuff, it regens, and he does have this spawny ability to be able to regen it back down to like 2 or 3 wounds from 5
we'll
to 10.
Well, we'll see whether the does spawn works against Nick's experience. I nearly said age and experience then, but I don't. I think Daz is.
Daz wins on that one, doesn't he?
Daz is slightly older than Nick, I think. So it's age before beauty, I suppose.
I'm not sure exactly how that one's kind of lined up because Daz is younger than me, so I can't say that Daz is old.
It's younger than me, but I'm just saying. Taking it in context, it was a throwaway remark, and I'm beginning to regret it now. I really am. Right.
Okay, move on.
Swiftly moving on.
Get off the age conversation.
Oh.
Who we got next?
We have the Goblins of Barry Baz's EB Goblins.
Yeah.
I love
so we have.
Goblins. They're gorgeous.
I played this on Wednesday. Fucking thing. So we have 2 hordes of sharp sticks, a horde of spitters, a horde of trolls with the chalice of wrath,
Okay.
Fleabag rider sniffs in a regiment size, Fleabag riders with the potion of the caterpillar in a regiment size.
Oh God, there.
Mincer mobs. He's got 2 troops and a regiment. The regiment with the brew of sharpness. That should be banned. It really should be banned. More launcher. More pup launcher for when you really want to shag somebody's unit up. And I'm thinking, yeah, because what's going to happen is that'll charge that, and it'll do 4 or 5 wounds, and I've got 18 nerve, and he goes, "Well, just lob a more pup at them." So I've recharged their Mopup launcher, so now they're charged in and they are hitting you. 6 dice, hit on 4s, crushing 1. Just completely throws the math out the window. Wing it.
Yep.
And that's his original wing it, isn't it? That's not the one
It's the original wing it, the one that originally looked like a flying scrotum, but he's now actually managed to put make it child friendly. And it just looks. Looks like a giant flying Tic Tac. So a giant, which is a recent addition to his army list, not to his model collection, because it's one of them Games Workshop 3.5-inch tall giants.
Oh wow, vintage.
Yeah, very vintage.
Very vintage.
A goblin slasher, which is it's a horrible thing, but it's a lovely model. It's made out of some sort of McDonald's toy, but it has been painted and converted.
It's gorgeous. It's not just a McDonald's toy. It's a dragon from the Train Your Dragon's nurse.
A king, just as he is. A whiz with the inspiring talisman and weakness. Something that he's completely out of the left field for Barry. He came and he started weaknessing all my stuff, and it's like, that's not very fair, is it? Seeing as I've only got thunderous charge. Magwar and Juice, another character that should be taken out and burnt.
That's
really,
an auto take, though, isn't it?
Because that's horrible.
It's going to do goblins. It's going to do Magwars and Juice.
It's on a 50mm base, and it just goes around kicking the snot out of everything you've got in the back line of your army. First it electrocutes it, then it runs over and gives it a severe talking to. It's horrible. Horrible thing.
Something that just goes kaboom.
Right. And then we've got... I'm really going. I'm going to go slightly off topic here because I'm really waiting to find out whether he actually, because he sent me a picture and said, "This is my army," and it's just a load of bases.
and he's away.
Then he's been on holiday. He's been on holiday for a week. He's getting back home on Saturday night, and on Sunday morning, this army has got to turn up at the tournament. And at the moment, it looks like a load of mud.
Well, it's very rare. You don't know what it's going to look like, so I suppose.
Well, he says I've got other models I want to repurpose, and it's like I'm half expecting that, because it's going to be. I mean, this is a massive departure for Dan King. 3 regiments of infantry.
Yep.
I mean, look at that. 3 lots of. I'm not even going to attempt to say it because Droga. Right, okay. There's too many vowels in that one word for me. 3 hordes of Frostfang cavalry.
There's no subtlety in this list at all.
Well, it's the spam of 3, this list. 3 regiments of Drauga, 3 regiments of Frostfang cavalry, 3 regiments of Snow Fox. Oh, look, 3 major conclaves. Yeah. One Magus on his own.
Oh no, we've broken the rule.
3 lords of Frostfang.
And Maggie.
And Magnild.
Oh, Magnild.
I mean, he just obviously went right. 2,495 points. Everything in the Varangur box times 3. Yeah, and here it is. And we're all, because at first, I typed all the score sheets out, and I'm typing it out, and I'm going, okay, type 1, copy and paste, type 2, copy and paste. This is getting really boring. But look at it. I mean, it's horrible.
It's a proper Alpha Strike list. Yeah, it's a proper Alpha Strike list. It's mean. Speed 7 means it may not get the charge, but the Snow Foxes should chaff up in front of that. But
they've got wild charge, so the 15-inch charge range.
Yeah.
I mean, if he comes up against an infantry-heavy army, he's going to outrange it.
And it'll take a cavalry hit.
Of course. Christ almighty. And the beauty of it is that those 3 lords on Frostfangs are very inspiring. So they cover the inspiring bubble. He's only got 3 inspiring things.
It's a shame Barry's not using Night Stalkers.
Well, 5, because I think his mage got. Yeah.
No, they don't. No. The mage just doesn't. They have transfusion, famulus and individual.
So
and then you've got the conclaves, which is upgraded with the famulus. So that's elite ranged shooting. And then the boomstick guy with lightning bolt 7. Chaff's not gonna. People's chaff's gonna evaporate basically, and then he's going to have the Snow Foxes sitting there, going, "Yeah, hit us and guess what's behind."
Well, you can throw your Frostfang Lord in as effectively as chaff because it's 15-17.
Yeah, the thing is they're just like little dragons.
Yeah,
9 attacks are just horrible things. Strider,
very square base.
I know. Nimble, get them in something, and they'll be corkscrewing all over the place.
Yeah,
in and out. Unless Dan has an aneurysm or something like that and can't play, he's going to be waltzing all over the place.
It's going to be such an irritating army to play.
But he is playing against Barry's goblins.
Yeah, so
they have
all that Crush 3 and Crush 2 is going to be completely bloody useless.
exactly.
It's going to be a chaff fest for Barry, but it's a case of what to use his poor little goblins on, isn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is the vast majority of Dan's fighting power there is large cavalry, and Barry's got two big blocks of phalanx. So that's gonna, they're gonna Frostfang's hit on a 4 anyway. So they're gonna be hitting on a 5. I know they don't have Thunderous to take off, but they're going to be hitting on 5s. So it's not as clear cut as it looks.
No, as I say, it's a really good draw for well,
I must admit,
different styles.
Yeah, the last time I saw this pair playing off against each other was in a last round of a tournament.
Yeah, it was.
You have to draw them.
But that was Daz's Undead, wasn't it?
But it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to definitely be interesting because Barry knows how to use his army.
I'm going for Barry on this one, even though I think Dan's list is definitely more my style, and I can see how it would work. But I don't think Dan's going to be able to kill enough stuff.
I think it's going to be a case of the hammer against a cloud. How deep is that? Oh, it sounds really, really good. Yeah, but that's what because I mean,
you nearly sounded intelligent, Bob.
Well, I played it on Wednesday. I played Barry's army list on Wednesday, and you know what my army's like. We'll come to it. We'll come to it in a bit. Subtlety. I've never been accused of being subtle. So. And I found that there was I killed stuff, but the wrong stuff, and the rest of it just sort of floated around going, yeah, well, now you're really screwed because you're out of position and things like that. So I think that could be a major factor. It just depends on how well Dan performs with the army, because Barry's been using the same army for quite a while on UB and in real life, and he does know what it does, whereas Dan's not played UB for a long time as far as I know.
Nope.
And he's certainly not played in real life for quite a while, so it could be.
He's had some one-off games with Jez, and so and to be fair, this is very much a Dan King trademark list of very hard-hitting hammers.
It's very hard hitting.
So
I actually do feel that Dan might get this, but I love Baz. Sorry, Baz. But
Dan's going to have to play exceptionally well, I think, because
if Dan's on form, I think Dan's got it.
Well, I'm going to go for Barry, to be honest.
Yeah, I've got Barry.
Because I think the goblins might just have the edge. It all does also depend on the scenario as well.
Week. Yeah, I kicked goblin ass the other week, so I hope Barry can live up to his list, because he's not had practice that was on the table until we've come back to club. So he's only had a couple of games.
No, we'll see how it goes.
It's another one. I'm going to have to send my minion and say, take photos. I really want to see what went on, because I would like to have been doing my admin and able to see this one just as much as Darren and Nick. And
well, I'll probably be able to take photos. I'll probably only last 2 or 3 turns.
That's mean.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'll beat him. Right, but so moving swiftly on from that one before I get slander cases, we'll go for Jan's Night Stalkers.
Yeah, and my absolute
so we have
pants list that got drawn up in 30 seconds flat.
So we have 2 legions of scarecrows, just so you can one up.
Because.
Yeah.
Doppelganger Regiment with the Blessing of the Gods.
Bit of fun.
A Troop of Reapers.
Mincing
2
things.
troops of Shadow Hounds. 2 hordes of Butchers, Sir Jesse's Boots of Striding, and Macquar's Potion of the Caterpillar.
Yeah.
3 Mind Screeches. The Void Lurkery Dude. 3 Horrors, 1 with the Boomstick. And all 3 of them have the Aura of Vicious
I'll just hang my head in shame.
And a Reaper Soul Drinker with the Blade of Slashing.
Because why not?
Because why not? Yes, indeed. When you've got 85 points left over, have that guy that can run over and kill wizards for fun.
Yeah.
So
it's all the lightning
And
bolts.
also gives extra stuff
It's
to
yes,
the Reapers around him.
It's all the lightning bolts.
It's all the lightning bolts, and I get life leech on the Reapers.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have James now. James picks his armies from what he likes. I'll say that straight out.
Yeah.
And this is
feeling really bad.
This is a gorgeous army painted
It's
really well.
beautiful.
It's all at full model strength as well. So we have a troop of men-at-arms with the Staying Stone and Veteran Command, a regiment of men-at-arms swordsmen with the Diadem of Dragonkind, just so they can spit fire at people, a horde of men-at-arms spearmen with the Veteran Command. That is 15 points well spent on any unit for the Basileans, I think.
Yeah.
The Foot Guard. Now, lots and lots of Foot Guard. A troop with the Brew of Sharpness.
What hell? What?
Yeah. A bit of an odd choice, I think, on a troop. But a regiment with upgraded to the Paladin Defenders. So they get the elite melee. So that will affect the troop and the other regiment, and a regiment with just the Aegis fragment. Sisterhood infantry with the Helm of Confidence, so they can operate away from all the inspiring guys. Men-at-arms crossbowmen, a troop of 10 crossbowmen. Paladin Knights, a troop and a regiment. Sisterhood Panther Lancers, a troop and a regiment. The regiment with Dwarven Ale, just to give them that headstrong.
Yeah.
A regiment of Ogre Palace Guard, a heavy arbalest, a phoenix, the bearer of the holy icon, an abbess. Is she on foot? Yep, she's on foot. And Gnaeus Solustis, who's the bloke on a big lion thing, isn't he?
Yep.
And that's 18 units, 29 unit strength. And let's have a look. What's
Jan's got 24 unit strength and 16 units.
Wow.
Yeah, I've not got as many drops or as much stuff, but yeah, I'm not going to call this one because obviously I'm playing it.
Yes, I know. I think James is going to struggle, especially against the legions of scarecrows. And the Void Lurker, he's going to cause him problems.
I think it will depend on the scenario that I pull out.
Yeah, James, I think he's going to struggle with that Void Lurker when that Void Lurker gets down that flank and then back in the back.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to see how he's going to cope with the heavy flyer in the back. I mean, Abbess, is it on foot? The
Abbess is on foot, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the Sisterhood, the Sisterhood Panthers.
Yeah.
He's got quite a strong infantry-based army with the Horde of Spearmen, the Swordsmen, and the Paladin Foot Guard.
I am still surprised at that Brew Sharpness on the Foot Guard.
I am wondering whether that's a mistake or not, to be honest. But
it doesn't sound right, doesn't that?
I am tempted to ask.
Especially seeing as they've got the Brew of Sharpness. They've got the Brew of Sharpness, and they have been. They're down to defense 4. They've got the crushing strength 1.
It does make a difference. Don't get me wrong, It does make a big difference. But on a troop, not a regiment, I don't.
I just be
get it.
concerned if you're staying on there. He's got 11, 13 nerve on that thing, and you've got 16 lightning bolts. He's well, and the rest.
I was just going to say, I think it's more like 20, 25 or 26.
12, 18, yeah, 18, yeah, it is 20, yeah. I mean, that you can take out two chaff units, if not big units. In
18, 24, 27. No, it's 30 lightning bolts with the
30
boomstick.
lightning bolts. Oh, Jesus.
Ooh.
Jan,
Say nothing.
hang your head
nothing.
in shame.
That's appalling.
I did hang my head in shame. It was just a throw it together list. It was like, oh my god, I've got to play. So
This is all because the NHS pinged somebody, isn't it? This is entirely because of that. Yeah. So we blame the NHS.
Thank you, Andy Ransom. I'm playing now because of you.
Well, just name and shame him on YouTube.
I love it. Everybody knows that he will be the one person that has not been able to make it because he's already up on the list. So everybody can see that his name's there and he's not pulled out.
I'm going with Jan with this list, with her list, because I think that's.
Unfortunately for James, yes, I'm going to go with Jan as well because I think she's got.
What can I say, James? Then, just so he doesn't feel outnumbered.
Yes, you can. You can root for your opponent.
That's fine.
We'll allow that.
And I will actually ask him about that one particular item because it does seem the wrong.
He may be smart. He may well be smarter. Well, to be honest, he's likely to be smarter than me, but I can't see what that's doing on that unit. It just seems a little odd.
I can't.
I mean, it creates a really nasty unit that you may not want to put any effort into killing normally, and now you're going to have to focus on it, which is. But
maybe he's trying to undo the chaff factor and make you focus somewhere else.
Yeah, that's it. You want to focus and kill that unit. Okay, so
right.
Max.
Yeah, Max.
Max's ogres. 2 troops of Red Goblin Scouts. Lovely.
As they come.
Lovely.
2 regiments of Warrior Chariot with Backline's Potion of the Caterpillar and Boots of Striding, almost standard on cavalry types. Blessing of the Gods on Shooters.
Yeah, I like. You don't see them, but I think in this list they'll work really well because they need something at the backfield just to cause some havoc.
Oh, they do. And if need be, they can have a bit of a wander now. They've got this pot shot.
Yeah.
2 hordes of warriors. I was going to say you don't see warriors very often because siege breakers seem to have taken over, and then
you've got the siege breakers. Well,
3 hordes of siege breakers. One with the staying stone. I mean, they're just what can you say about siege breakers? They're
horrible.
Horrific.
Yeah. There's a nice checkerboard you can do with that as well, with the warriors and the siege breakers.
Indeed, yeah.
It's going to be horrible.
A sergeant with the crocodile. Yeah. An ogre warlord on a chariot with the crocodile.
Yeah.
And Nomagarok.
Who's just a must kill straight away. Otherwise, he just dominates the bloody field.
Well, he can just sit there. I mean, Bane Chance 6 isn't brilliant, but Heal 7 and Lightning Bolt 7 can be quite nice. And the fact that he's inspiring as well gives him that extra bit. I mean, he sits there in the middle of that siege breaker and warrior formation, and you're really looking at struggling to go through. Especially if the shooters have taken their toll as you're coming in. And then the warrior chariots are there to mop up whatever's left, along with the warlord on chariot, the nimble chariot warlord into the flanks and stuff like that. It's a lovely ogre list. That's
a fabulous ogre list.
That's a lovely list. I love it. I mean,
I am biased as you know with the ogres.
You are an ogre player.
My first love before the Free Dwarfs, but
that's really nice list. Really interesting.
I think to be honest, the only thing I would have done different is that I would have tried to squeeze some more points out and change those warriors into hunters. Yeah.
Yep.
Just for that, the extra movement
Right,
and the ensnare, just to really
Go
piss
on,
off
upset people.
what's his unit count on this one?
It's only 13 units.
13 units, 26 because of the hordes. So it is right. Let's have a look at Mike.
It's not a massive amount of drops. Go on, who?
Mike's
So,
Kingdoms of Men.
Eyes against Mike. Vic.
Right. So we have a regiment and a horde of foot guard. The horde with the hammer of measured force. Regiment and a horde of bowmen. 3 regiments of knights, blessing of the gods, brew of sharpness and indomitable will. Mounted sergeants, a troop of. Siege artillery for 1 on 2 cannons. 2 generals on winged beasts, one with a healing brute, one with a staying stone, and 2 wizards on foot, Shroud of the Saint and heal 3, and Boomstick with fireball replaced with lightning bolt.
It's rude not to.
And then we have a wizard on a horse. This one so that he can shoot over the units with his lightning bolt 3, and then the captain on foot. Okay, so gone for the tactical bit there. I mean, I've played Mike quite a lot over the years.
Mike's full of tic-tacs.
He is very tactical. His nickname at the club is Standard Deviation. So, because he analyses everything.
Yeah.
It was nearly the name that went on his club T-shirt.
Yeah. No, it has. That's what it says. That's what it says on his club T-shirt.
Did he actually get Standard Deviation on his club T-shirt? Because I know it was out there.
And he knows how to play ogres.
He does, because he's played me that many times.
Ogres are one of his favourite opponents due to the fact that everything's height 3. So, but I notice he's changed. He normally runs 2 lots of siege artillery. He's gone for 1 siege artillery and 2 cannons.
But the siege artillery doesn't always work out for you, does it? So maybe he's
decided the direct fire is a bit.
There's not a lot.
I like both lists, and I like them both quite a lot.
To be honest, they're both nice lists, and they're both players who know their armies well.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I have given everybody points to be able to play with, haven't I, really? You know,
you've definitely
got enough to be able to get all the toys. So.
I'm going to go with Max because it's ogres. That's the only reason. Mike is an extraordinarily good player, and he should be able, maybe he'll beat Max, but I have to go with the ogres.
I'll do the opposition then, and I'm going to have to say Mike, because I've met how Mike has pulled ogres to pieces in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I must
and
admit,
he has pulled them to pieces.
However much I root for the ogres, I know of old how effective Mike is against them, and I'm going to go for Mike with that one.
Yeah.
So right, next. So first of all, we have Summer Beaster Army of Elves.
Andrew Laycock.
So we have the Horde of Kindred Tall Spears with the Chalice of Wrath. 2 regiments of Palace Guard, one with Chant of Hate and one with the Mead of Madness. Nasty things they are. Therenian Sea Guard, 2 regiments. So shooty phalanx dudes. Oh, we appear to have lost Jam. Stormwind Cavalry with Maklar's Potion of the Caterpillar.
Yeah.
Oh, Dracon Riders with Sir Jesse's Boots of Striding. Well, at least they've not got the Brew of Sharpness on them. Elven
Why is it got
King.
Boots of Striding on?
So they can go and winkle things out of cover, I should imagine.
Yeah.
The Wings of Honey Maze on an Elven King with the Shard Blade.
Yes.
2 blood.
That's going to be hunting mages all games, isn't it? It's
Well, of
gonna
course,
be-
a duelist on that. Nothing's going to be safe against that thing.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yes.
Elven Archmage, one with the boomstick, one with the Helm of Confidence.
Yep.
So you've got a total of 13 lightning bolts between those two.
Yeah.
And Double Dragon. Mace of Crushing,
Dragon.
Brew of Haste, 12 units, 24 strength. Oh.
It's a very elite army.
It is a very elite army.
I've not seen the Seaguard being used competitively for ever. Because generally you pay over the odds for units that can do 2 at once. But particularly range 5.
So they're 10 points less than Palace Guard. And
yeah, but Palace Guard have got that Crushing 1 and the melee 3. So like I say, the problem with Seaguard is the melee 4, which is hit and miss at the best of times, but only range 5 still. And I just and there's been quite a few moaning again about it on Fanatics recently about the elves and their shooting. It just needs something doing with it. I'm not quite sure what, but elves should be able to do better than that.
Well, I mean, under any sci-fi or fantasy genre, elves and the like, they're always, because they live so long, they're much more skillful at everybody than with everything, and to have them suddenly be the same as a goblin for shooting.
Well, and halflings are actually the worse than halflings. The worse than halfling. The worse than a halfling on a troll's back.
Oh, really?
A halfling being standing on a troll's back is RA4.
Wow.
Yeah, that's wrong.
In fact, dwarf rangers are ranged 4.
Yeah,
so dwarf rangers are better.
Yeah,
right.
So I'd love Andrew Laycock to do well in that, but
this is what he's facing. So we have 3 troops of half-elf berserkers, a regiment with the Brew of Strength, so that's 20 attacks on 3s. Oh, nasty. A regiment of Huskarls with the Brew of Sharpness, which is just horrible.
That's just a mincing unit,
Yeah. Pack Hunters. 3 regiments with javelins and a troop with javelins. So 12-inch range, steady aim, piercing 1. That's a lot of close range shooting, especially with the fact they've got Pathfinder, Stealthy, Thunderous Charge 1, and Wild Charge. They are quite nasty, aren't they?
I say just look at the Pack Hunters, Regiment 20 there. Compare that to your Seaguard. It's 5 points more for your Pack Hunters, but you get melee 4, range 4.
You get a lot more.
More special rules than Varango units can have. It's
you get a lot of clout for your money's worth, don't you?
Yeah.
Pathfinder, Stealthy, Thunderous Charge, and Wild Charge. So they've got 11-inch charge range. Wow.
Snow Foxes just for the win because you got to have them.
Yeah.
And a Lord with Wings of Hoodie Maze and the Horn of Winter.
There's going to be an epic duel somewhere between is the Lord going to take on that duelist 2-up elf?
Oh, the King.
Lord. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A Thane with the Inspiring Talisman, Rally 1. And 3 Lords on Frost Fangs, one with the Blade of Slashing.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's now that Andy's got the advantage with the Flyers. He outranges everything on that list.
Andy's army. But Andy's a believer in dragons.
Well, he's got two dragons,
and
the Dracon Riders, and the flying character. So the only thing in Tom's army that matches that is his flying Lord.
Yeah, which won't want to play with any of those.
Mm.
With 13-15, that's going to get minced by virtue any of the other ones.
So the
only way there's going to win, the only way that Tom's going to lose this one is if by the elf player being ultra aggressive on this one, because
Tom's not an aggressive player.
Tom's like,
he's very meditated on it. He does sit back and he does think.
The half-off berserkers are amazing chaff. Dash 13 troops, which are going to need something to. You're going to have to put them down. You have to give them something pretty hard to hit. They've got 15 attacks. Right, they've got some. The elves have got some shooting in both the magic and the normal shooting, but you're going to have to do 6-7 damage to them. So you're going to have to hit. You have to put virtually all your shooting in to kill a troop.
Yeah.
With that range 5, you just not
that fearless.
I don't know. I think to be honest, with the dragons, because the dragons have the breath weapon, and Andy does use that quite a bit. With it, he's the fact he's got 24 shots from his sea guard. They could possibly plink off one of those troops. He's two wizards combined, 13 lightning bolts could do serious damage to him. And if a dragon can outflank one of them troops and breathe on it, then it's all down to the placing.
Yeah.
For one, I can see the elves dancing around and picking the fights, but I can also see the Northern Alliance just sort of facing off, covering all the angles and saying,
"Come at me, bro.
Come at us." Yeah.
Yeah. You can't go against Tom. You can't go against Tom. This list will also be, let's be honest, this will be honed to a fine edge.
Absolutely.
Tom's been painting it for about 18 months all through lockdown, so I'm guessing he's may have played it quite.
I'm using it on UB.
Yeah, I know. Jan faced it on UB right back in the early days of the lockdown as well. Yeah, I do remember.
So he's a good player. He's well practiced. It'll look gorgeous.
Yep.
I'm sorry, and the elves, you're paying a tax for that elite, which is great.
It's just the luck of the draw, sadly.
Yeah. You have to go with Tom. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sorry, Andrew.
Yeah, Andy. Sorry.
I'm going to be contrarian. I'm going to go with Andy. Because
you're doing the me. I've got to say, this one, I have absolutely no doubt it's going to be Tom.
There's always room for an upset.
Well, let's hope so. I'd like to be upset, but
the last one.
The last one, yeah. Flying through.
Ooh.
So, John Stanix. I'm assuming I've pronounced that correctly as well. Easter Beaster Orcs. So, Legion of Axe with the Healing Brew.
The only thing I'll say there is, why has he not got the Blade of Slashing? Sorry, not the Blade of Slashing. The
Brew of Sharpness.
Brew of Sharpness.
Brew of Sharpness on that. 30 attacks on 3s at crushing one.
Add something that can do Bane Chant on it and just muller the entire lot. Go on then. Kill it.
Go big or go home, yeah.
Well, he could have done Brew of Sharpness maybe somewhere else that would have been more interesting.
So, Great Axe. So, this is the Crushing Strength 2 guys, one regiment of Gore Riders. Troop with the Stained Stone. Backwards pushed on a regiment as they come. Oh, excuse me. Orklings, 2 regiments of Orklings.
Yeah, nice chaff to hand
I
back
love
or
Orklings.
carry any objectives or tokens. Nice.
Trolls, one with the Chalice of Wrath, one as they come. A wardrobe on the wagon. Yeah, roll out the welcome wagon.
Yeah.
Almost de rigueur for
Grudger with a mournful blade.
Yeah, Mount on a Gore. That's my fault.
It is your fault.
That's my
you're
fault.
facing it, so
because that's my berserker lord. Run 2 berserker lords, one with a mournful blade, one with the blade of the beast slayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Crudger on wing slasher with a blade of slashing, Flagger with the boomstick. Well, yeah, okay.
Something to do.
Gives him lightning bolt 3, gives him something to do in the shooting phase. Troll bruiser with the mace of crushing. A god speaker with the shroud of the saint. Replaces his fireball with Bane Chant. So he's got heal 5, Bane Chant 2, and he's sat on a war pig. And whip the outcasts with his heal 2, hex 2, lightning bolt 3, weakness 2. Oh, it's the weakness. Horrible, horrible spell that. Mm-hmm. Unless you're an Abyssal Dwarf player, in which case it's really nice. And John will be
then there's
facing...
yours. Go on, Bob. Pop your list.
Bob, you seem to have moved away from all Brock Rider army. I'm not quite sure what's wrong now.
He's going for a rounded list.
It's balanced and rounded and
well, what it is because I've painted like 9,000 points of dwarves.
He likes his berserkers and he likes his Brocks. Yeah. So he's made them all cuddly and pulled them together.
Yeah, and then give them some rangers to support them. So we've got...
And he's even made a T-shirt to go with it, John. How sad's that?
I'm not wearing it.
So, not a minute.
two troops of 3 dwarf rangers with throwing mastiffs.
Yeah, nice chap.
2 regiments of Brock Riders, one with boots riding, and one with the potion of the caterpillar.
Don't know how that happens.
Earth Elementals, one with the diadem of Dragonkind, because it's funny.
Really?
Because you can fireball people and then surge into them afterwards, just because you can.
If they're not Night Stalkers.
And I miss the Obsidian Golems. 2 Mastiff Hunting Pack regiments with throwing Mastiffs, because they are awesome. Yep. Awesome throwing Mastiffs. 3 Dwarf Stone Priests to do said surging.
Surge.
So they shoot, they move, they shoot, they get surged, and then he can Bane Chant them straight away afterwards. Just, he's just like the Swiss Army wizard. And he's Defense 5, which take people by surprise. 3 Dwarf Packmaster with the Mastiff Munchberries. This guy is awesome. He's like a ninja. He's like a ninja sniper. Because Brock Riders don't have Mastiffs.
Right.
So now I'm using the guys that have Mastiffs. This guy comes out, and so he gives them Vicious. So the Mastiff packs have Vicious.
Is this because I've been hitting you so much with Vicious that you've decided that you've got to...
No. And he also comes with 1 or 2 other rules, like Crushing Strength 1, Individual, Inspiring.
Yeah, I can see that.
Pathfinder Scout is the good one, or a Vicious range. Yeah,
Mastiff with
homing Mastiff, so he gets 6 attacks a turn, always hits on a 4 regardless. So he scouts up somewhere.
That's dirty.
That's a horrible character.
Then he starts sniping.
That needs nerfing, doesn't it, John? We need to nerf that one.
He just nips up and then starts sniping at you. Yeah. Dwarf Lord on a large beast. Because I painted one.
I was going to say, you painted one recently. I've seen it.
Yeah. Very nice. Very Egulax on Hellbrock, because I just cannot.
Because why not?
I just cannot put a 3 dwarf army out there without Sverry on it, because he's just horrific.
He's amazing, yeah.
And then you go for the dirty crossover and do the Northern Alliance with it.
Yeah, because it's part of the theme. They are painted. They are painted as bears. Foul. So I have the Frostfang Cavalry in a recent edition for them, because I found that they kept getting zapped. So they needed a bit of inspiring. So to inspire them, I brought along one of their small fluffy mates, a Lord on a Frostfang with a Snow Fox.
Small fluffy mate.
The Northern Alliance and the Baron go between them must have an awful lot of lords.
I think so.
They do, don't they?
I think the throwaway It's just one of those things. They seem to
I-
throw these loads everywhere, don't
But
they?
apart-
There's a little certificate you can buy from one of these internet sites that gives you a lordship of.
Oh yeah, Glencoe.
Yeah,
You buy 6 square inches of land in Glencoe, and you become the laird of Glencoe.
Yeah, so laird on Frostfang.
Yeah. But yeah,
Well-
so 14 units, total unit strength 22, and they're all lovely, friendly
And
people.
what was John's unit strength and drop? Just so I know, and I'm interested.
Just so you know, because
Because
you're
I
interested,
think you're a
he's
nasty
got
cruel.
16 units and
26
total
and 16.
unit strength 26.
So he outdrops you, so he can place his best stuff last.
Oh yeah.
John's definitely the kind of person that is going to place his best stuff last.
I mean that Axe Legion's giving me the EBGBs already.
Well, you're gonna have
Good.
an axe with troll on either side, backed up by your drummer and the mage behind it, just to protect it. Yeah, that's going to be a horrible core.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that thing as well, the Crudger on Wing Slasher, because I still don't have
You don't.
a tremendous amount of things with flares.
Yeah, but Sperry can take him out. Or at least
Yeah, but
Very can. As long as he's in the right place at the right
But
time.
yes, yeah. And I haven't gone for the old Wingy Kingy this time. So
yeah,
he's been put on the sub bench.
I'm
So he's,
going to go with John. I'm going to say John on this one. Really sorry, Bob, but
yeah, it's John. It's John.
it looks like I'm screwed, then, doesn't it?
it looks like you're going to have to cope. I
Looks like
think John's got this one. I think
going for an early bath on Sunday morning.
Yeah, well,
What time does the bar open?
The bar's opening about 10 o'clock. It might be open earlier. It just depends on the staff.
That sounds excellent.
So Jan, can you walk to this place, Bob, or is it a drive job?
No, I've got to get a lift.
Oh, Jan, you have to be.
Yeah, I've got to be sober.
Oh no!
It's my occasion to be sober. And I'm lifting the Bob.
Carrying the Bob home.
Oh, well, Daz is saying he's going, so does that mean that Daz is going to give us lift?
No, Daz.
Because he could always come in.
That's a vote for me. That's a vote of confidence
for me.
I-
Daz is giving Bob the vote. That's sweet.
Or is it I'm going, Bob? As in, can you have a look at Bob, please?
Well, if Bob wants to lift with Daz, that's fine.
Yeah, but Daz doesn't live here, though, does he? He still has to walk from his.
Yeah,
yeah, it's a bit of a trek for him. Oh well,
it looks like it's going to be. I mean, some very interesting lists there. And like I say, the 2,495 points does allow people to take, all the toys they've got.
It is an old, and that was the idea. I wanted everybody to have all the toys.
Well, let's be honest. It's been a long time. No, it's Bob for the win.
And what we
okay, Daz.
What we haven't mentioned is the fact that, as well as the 2,495 points, everybody gets
Beaster.
The Easter.
No, are you going to show the Beaster's stats? Have you got them?
Well, I haven't Blue Petered that.
Oh, you've not gone for here's one I preferred
if everybody
earlier.
wants to see it, just read the description of it. It's hilarious, particularly when it just disintegrates and blows up after it's been attacked. Melee.
I must admit, I need a refresh on the Beaster myself because it was a Beaster that we invented before lockdown, so I haven't really looked at it since the pandemic.
It hits like a train. Those things like a train.
It was based on the blaster.
Yeah.
The Ogre Blaster. So it is a monster chariot, but it's only height 2, this one. Speed 6, melee 3+, ranged 4+, defense 5+. 1 unit strength, 3 attacks, nervies -15. Special rules. It's got Blast D6, Brutal, Crushing Strength 3, Nimble, Strider, Dread, Loner, which means it cannot be inspired, and has Holy Hand Grenades, 12-inch range, Blast D3, Piercing 1. And at the end of the turn in which this unit scores a successful hit in melee, it is immediately routed and removed from play, just like its core, the blaster. But in play testing, it has turned out to be remarkably resilient.
I can't say that I've play tested
because
it, so I'm a little bit jealous here.
Because of the Dash 15, the original blaster is 10 nerve.
Yeah, as I say, it dies under a stick.
A loud noise in the distance startles it to death. Whereas thing, being Dash 15, just trundles up and goes, Snot, hello, I've just grenaded you to death. I'm not going to charge you because then I'll die, but I'll just keep grenading you and being a real piss ant because I'm nimble.
If you don't have any shooting, you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
You have something shooting that way.
Yeah. If that gets into the middle of something that's very much a hammer.
And what really gets me is the number of people that have played against ogres and goblins that go, right, I'm going to go up and I'm going to stop 11 inches away from it because it's a blaster. And then you go, right, it's charging you. Why? It's only got 10-inch move. No, it's got 12-inch charge because I've put an extra inch move on it, and it just catches people out. It probably won't now because I've just told everybody. But it certainly is. And it caught me out because being an ogre player, I run 2 blasters. And I'm like, I'll just stay 10.5 inches away from it and it's screwed because it never hits with grenades. So it just charged me instead and blew up and killed me. But then there's the other one that in another play test, it's like, well, they never hit with grenades. That'll be 3 6s because it's not got steady. It's not got a steady aim. So all right, it's range 4, but it hits on a 5 still for moving and shooting. No, 3 6s, and then for the blast was 2 5s and a 6. And it's like that's going to hurt.
Several. Oh god. Right. Well, I think it's going to be really fun. You're going to have a really good time there, and a pity I can't get up to watch it. But I look forward to hearing all the stories about it.
We'll tell you all about it, John, because obviously we're going to be catching up with you in a weekend or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll go for some beers next weekend. Very good.
Right.
I'm afraid I need to get off because it's coming up to my. I turn to pumpkin at 10 o'clock, so I need to get off.
I'd like to. As you know, I'd only just arrived home when we actually came live, so yeah.
Well,
thank you for coming on.
That's going to be one of the swiftest troll casts we've done for a.
Yeah, it's only an hour and
20 minutes.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah. I know.
Well, not enough drink for a starter.
Well, that's the other one. It's actually run out of my my rum by now. So.
Another reason to go and top
refresh.
Yeah. Indeed. Right. Well, in that case, everybody wave goodbye, and I'll play us out.